Good morning. GBPCAD has approached and is trying to go back up perhaps a key technical and macro level. So let's break down the setup that I have for you today. First, macro drivers for both, just to ensure we have supporting a macro landscape. The pound remains supported in the short term because of broader dollar weakness due to the ongoing government shutdown in the US, soft US data yesterday, and also a more of a bearish narrative for the dollar overall. UK inflation remains sticky, so the Bank of England is cautious with rate cuts. Markets prices limited the easing by the year end as well. So the big macro risks remains in November's UK budget with fiscal discipline in focus. This is the main key event for the UK. When we're looking at the Canadian dollar, the loonie faces headwinds from weak oil prices, and they fell recently due to oversupply concerns and or softer global demand. Bank of Canada, on the other hand, is leaning dovish, signaling support for growth and possible further rate cuts this year. If oil stays pressured, of course, the loonie is likely to see further decline. So, what is a technical setup here? And we always need to do some sort of multi-time frame analysis to ensure that a lot of different catalysts are pointed to the same direction. The long-term view on the weekly here, we look at the Fibonacci from 210 down to 140 or so, and we can see clearly that we have broken above the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement, right? And we have actually tested that level, which means that has become a support. We have gone all the way up to around 188, 199, or 189. We are far from 183 for now. Also, this leg to the upside looks so far impulsive. There is no corrections that overlap with previous swing highs. Okay, so this suggests that the next leg to the upside in the longer term could be up to the 78.6 Fibonacci retracement at 195 or so. The shorter term, when we look at the 4 hours, we see an ascending triangle. An ascending triangle, it's a bullish continuation pattern, okay, especially at highs. And we have had one, two, this is the third peak and the third attempts. So typically how this works out, just to give you the Elliott wave alternative, the triangle has completed, okay, because triangles come in 5 waves. There is potential for something like this because you can see that this might be a weak attempt to reach the previous high. So maybe we're going to fall down to wave to complete the fifth wave for this leg. But as long as we maintain this price above 185, okay, then this remains a bullish scenario. If we look at the RSI, we have actually topped, okay? There is divergence, of course, but it doesn't necessarily mean that, this is the end of the trend. Typically, the RSI is going to indeed come at an overbought territory or oversold. At some point, they need to reset, okay? Now, is this the reset that, meant that prices could now continue higher down at 62? It wouldn't be a surprise. Typically, the zone is between the 40 and the 60. So if we remain above the 60, it means that bias remains to the upside for momentum, right? Also, the longer term does show divergence too, but we have come down to reset at the 50 and we have remained above the 50 for a while. It looks even like to me that this is turning some sort of like a triangle, and maybe the next leg to the upside, because you have A, B, C, D, E, is also a breakout. Okay, obviously the implications to the upside for momentum are different than pricing. We're not consider here the merge move projection or anything. However, the idea is that the pattern in the momentum currently shows that there is tightening and there is a triangle potentially shaping here, and the next leg to the upside could indeed be what we are discussing about, what we are looking for. So a convincing breakout to the upside. Convincing, I would tell you a few different perspectives. we need a close above that for the daily, today, let's say, if it was a breakout, but also a confirmed breakout is 3 days above that level. So the 188.40, 50, it's very important for us to understand whether this is a confirmed breakout. So the bullish scenario is the measurable projection initially, but of course there's going to be other targets. The measurable projection, there is different ways to do it. One shows us 196. The other way is to go at the end of the triangle, which is down here. It shows us 193.45. I like to use the Fibonacci extension tool because it shows us more levels. And of course, given where we currently are, we prefer to see more levels rather than less. So the 61 and the 100 are at 190 and 193 for whatever that level is. We're going to put the 38.2 in, okay? And that brings us up to 188.50. This brings a risk of a potential false breakout to the upside. Okay, so expect potential retracement, even if we do break above that level, right? This makes this a very important level. The 50 is another important level. So we'll be looking at a break of 185.60 to get us up to around the 189.50, and then we'll have the 190. Regardless of what the 61.8 shows, the 190 is a much stronger level at this current setup. Okay. Now the bearish scenario, because of course we are not just considering, what's going to happen on the one side. If GBPCAD fails at the resistance and breaks and starts moving lower, we still have chances that this could play out around 186 if we keep maintain support. Breaking below that low, though, is what is going to make this longer term setup bearish. Okay, in this case, we would be looking for different levels. The swing lows are always something to watch out for, but also if there are confluence in classes with the Fibonacci's. So you see the 38 becomes an important level, double bottom here at some point. The 26.3 is the breakout of the triangle level, but also important. Then you got the 50 where the swing high here is sitting, and then the 61.8 where we broke, we came down to in April. Okay, so just to wrap it up, GBPCAD, it's at a critical level with macro drivers favoring sterling bullishness in the near term, and also CAD being under pressure by oil and the Bank of Canada policy. I will be watching out for a breakout confirmation above 88, 88.50 for the next leg higher, but obviously stay alert for any failures and watching in the longer term if the reversal indeed plays out or not. So trade with discipline, and we'll speak again in the next video.